Welcome everyone, Crazy here, and today we'll be talking about the possibility of more Evil Dead content coming into Dead by Daylight. Many worry that because we have a standalone Evil Dead game now, this means we might not see any more content in the game, but luckily Matthew Cote has actually gone on record to say that this is not the case. Matthew Cote is the game director on Dead by Daylight, so if anybody knows about the licensing situation with Evil Dead, he probably does. Here's the clip where he talks about this. It's in an interview with The King and Polyester on YouTube. I'll be sure to link it below.
So now my question to you is, we haven't really seen much movement on Ash vs. Evil Dead or more cosmetics for Bubba. Does the fact that these properties now have their own licensed video games, does that kind of cut off those avenues for you? Can you not get any more cosmetics for Ash to make it more difficult, or is it just the same but you just haven't had the right opportunity?
The answer to that is no. These games have not affected negatively the liberty that we have. They've had an impact on on some conversations, but it certainly has not been a negative one.
So you could get Ash more cosmetics if there was something you wanted to do. Okay.
That is correct.
As you can see, he does indeed state that we can still get Evil Dead content in the game, and the fact that he sounds so sure about this makes it pretty clear I believe they've already talked about this. So now that we know it's entirely possible, I'd like to talk about my idea for how this could actually work in the game. One of the ideas I had would be to have a second Evil Dead chapter in the game. We've already seen this happen with Resident Evil, so it's entirely possible. I think the killer for this chapter should be Henrietta from Evil Dead 2. She's such an iconic killer from that movie, and it'd be really cool to see her in the game. I'd really like to see her long neck as a lunge ability in the game. This was a very iconic scene in the movie, and we sadly didn't see it in the Evil Dead game either, so it would be cool to see it represented in Dead by Daylight. For the survivors of this chapter, it would be really cool to see Pablo and Kelly in the game. These characters are so much fun in the show, and it's really a shame we never got them in Dead by Daylight. Random fun fact, I actually met the actors that played Kelly and Pablo at a horror convention, and they were really chill people. If a brand new Evil Dead chapter in Dead by Daylight is too much to ask for, it would also just be cool to see some new skins. Pablo and Kelly could be legendary skins for Ash, and I would also love to see a young Ash skin for Ash himself. This would be the hero Ash we see in Army of Darkness, where he has a ripped shirt and a metal gauntlet hand. It would also be really cool to see a evil Ash skin for the Knight. This would work really well because they are very similar build, they both use swords, and the ability would also work too. The reason why is because in the Evil Dead game and the Army of Darkness movie, we see that Evil Ash has a skeleton crew of minions that helps him out. As you note, the Knight has minions as well, so they can simply just reskin them to the skeleton crew you see here. Another cool skin would be to see a legendary puppeteer skin for the Doctor. This one would be a little tricky because they'd have to change some things like giving it a weapon, but honestly it shouldn't be that hard, since in the Evil Dead game we see their minions, and this could work really well. It already kind of looks like the Crypt TV skin for him anyways. All of these skins I mentioned could be released normally on the shop. Another idea I had is they could be released in the form of an in-game collaboration with the Evil Dead game. I think this would be much more likely. It would work just like the PUBG collaboration, or if you played a couple of PUBG matches you got the skin for Dwight. I think this would be a great idea because there's already claims that Evil Dead is becoming a dying game, and something like this would totally help out. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Evil Dead game and have even gotten the Platinum Trophy on PlayStation. I think if a lot of people gave this game a chance, they would actually really enjoy it personally. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Thank you all so much for staying to the end. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day and stay safe in the fog.